Now, Lacazette, they've said at the end of the season. Now, if Lacazette, and again, ifs and buts, if I was faster, I might be a footballer. If I was quick, if I was if I could box properly, I'd be a boxer. Big up marksman boxing and fitness. I see you in the comments, my guy. Appreciate you as well. You're the one reason I felt of that analogy. But I think it's quite telling that the club is saying that end of the season for Lacazette. So if he was to bag 20 goals or stuff, again, that will get the conversation speaking. Some man might say, oh, but what happened with Aubameyang? Do we really want to take that risk? I think it's quite telling. I think it's quite telling in Eddie Nketiah's case as well, that allegedly we're waiting to the end of the season. Again, his form could tip the balance. There's a lot of there's a lot of speculation in relation to Balogun. If Balogun goes, you keep Eddie. Eddie could be sold. That could tip Balogun to stay. Kolasinac, again, we're hoping he puts himself in the shop window, being contracted until 2022 and going on loan. And I think the club, similar case with Matteo Guendouzi, there was talk before the whole madness happened with Guendouzi of going on loan. Of signing a new deal before the whole loan business and all of these sort of things. Let me put 3/4 because I don't want to confuse you lot. So again, we hope that can put him in there. And Guendouzi, I hope he comes back to the club, but I think we've made our bed. So again, let's sort out this mess. El Nene played good for about 3 minutes. And man was saying sign a new deal. So these contracts need to be decided over these because we're going to go into the same next year with the same BS speculation. So we need to make a decision. For me, again, I'm very careful because again, let's be real. Yeah, if we look at this Arsenal team, in principle, if it was free for a football manager, you let Bearman go. It doesn't really matter. I want to start from scratch. I want to default and things like that. But at the same time, I'm wary of just letting 11, 12 players go. Again, the squad is poor. The recruitment has been poor. We're overpaying. We're not scouting good enough because the players, you can see it, people. Very few of our players are banging right now. For every Tierney, there's a million duds. Do you get it? When you sign Tierney, historically, Aubameyang, they're two good signings of the Emirates era. I think Mesut Ozil and Alexis Sanchez are up there as well, but Ozil's one's a bit iffy. I'd say definitely Alexis, Tierney, Aubameyang. But again, I can't really, for every one of them, there's bare failures, people. So we need to make a decision. Again, personally, I understand. I actually see reasons to give Lacazette a new deal, potentially let him run it down. If we can, if we're going to scout for another striker, Kolasinac needs to go, and a backup left back is potentially needed, as I have been saying, like you're seeing with speculation over Tierney and his fitness. Obviously, I'd like Guendouzi to stay, but it is what it is. And Eddie Nketiah, homegrown, he might have to stay, but these three, it's quite peak for them, really. And again, these two are contracted until 2023, people. And I forgot to mention, you've got Callum Chambers. Big up yourself, gent, next door as well. There's Callum Chambers, I believe, who's contracted until 2022 as well. I could be wrong. But again, decisions need to be made. Again, we're not going to get mad fees for these players, but you would imagine, Chambers, can you get a 10, 15? I would hope 20, but realistically, can you get a 10, 15? Can you get a 10 or so minimum for El Nene? Eddie Nketiah, I'm not going to lie, with that English premium, I'm looking for 15 to 20 plus a sell-on fee, but at the same time, I can't lie, you got to be smoking if you're spending that on Eddie Nketiah. You're not going to get the fee I expect for Guendouzi, so let's just make a profit. Bro, we got him for free and it's been costly. I'll accept anything, really. Lacazette, again, we're not making 52 million on Lacazette. So again, can you get, I would say 30. I wouldn't spend 30 on Lacazette, but can you get something, Can you get something? And then you've got the people who are contracted until 2023. Now, again, I don't know this for facts, but I'm pretty sure it's Lucas Torreira, who Arteta said he spoke to him about his loan spell. He might have a future at the club, but I think he's gone. And then you've got Maitland-Niles, and he brings me on to my next topic. It's like, would you sell Maitland-Niles? Because on one hand, I say yes, I say no. I say yes because, really, I have to, and it's mainly on Arteta again. I don't think Maitland-Niles is the best thing since sliced bread. I do think he could lock down that fullback role. I do think he could play midfield, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of gone away from Maitland-Niles playing midfield for us. I don't think he's got it. I think he's got an engine. I don't think he's good enough on the ball. I think he's a bit lazy in that regards. Obviously, he could prove me wrong. He could go somewhere and do it. I think fullback, at least for you at this club, that's your thing, innit? But I understand why people might want to sell him. Me personally, I'd probably get rid of him. On one hand, I'd understand selling him. You've begged man to stay. He's basically not playing. He's now an England international. Keep it moving. Bellerin's your boyfriend. You're not, Tierney's obviously a better left back than him. You're not going to use him in midfield for whatever reason. So I understand selling him. There's he's an England international now. You probably could have got 20 million for him. Can you get 30? There was talk of a new deal. I'd look to move him on. And fundamentally, you're not playing him. And I will say again, you're not playing it again with Maitland. It's a bit of a weird one because he has played in big games. He does do his thing, but I'd be worried if you've begged me to stay from Wolves and you're not playing me. You know, you're throwing in Cedric. You're still playing. Bellerin's playing well now, but Bellerin's been allowed to have a free run at that side. One thing I'll give Maitland, he's not been given a consistent run in the team. So last game he was terrible, but he was rusty. And I look at it when we play, you know, in them occasional big games, he's the guy who'll get a look in at left back or right back. But if Arteta is naming his best team, he's not saluting Maitland-Niles. You know, he's not playing Maitland-Niles. So again, there could be a reason to sell him. I get keeping him because he's a decent squad player. He can play left back. He can play right back. He's homegrown. There's still an element of improvement there, but again, if I was Maitland-Niles personally, I would force the issue and say, you know what, you're not playing me. I want to go, people. And again, we fought hard to keep him. Again, nobody put a gun to his head and said you have to stay. He said Arteta convinced him in some way. So again, there's that. Obviously, Bellerin and his future's kind of intertwined because Bellerin not contracted until 2023. And again, that's someone I wouldn't personally give a new deal personally. So it is what it is, but we need to make a decision and quickly. I guess the first priorities would be 2021 contracts and obviously these, because, you know, when you look at them, there's very few questions. There's a lot of question marks over this team. Like, you know, let's just say, you know, Arteta was going to come into this job for humor me, people. Let's just say in an imaginary world, Arteta's going to be a manager one day here, Carlo, Allegri, anyone, just bare different guys are taking over in it in different worlds. How many of these players could you have different managers with different tactics and different ways of seeing things? Would they keep? Like, I only feel the players that genuinely have a chance. I know Aubameyang's moving a bit mad, but I think Aubameyang, any manager, if he came into the Arsenal team, he's not going to force Aubameyang out straight away. So I think Aubameyang, Martinelli, Saka, Gabriel, Tierney. If I haven't said Martinelli, I think that's it. You know, there are some players I could say for me personally, I could say, oh, Pepe, Maitland-Niles, this guy, that guy. But there's only a few players I could genuinely see if many different managers came in with different sort of tactics that they would keep. And the wickedest thing is, I don't really think half of these players are bad players. They're just, when they're collectively together, it's just a shambles, people. For me, anyways, it's just a shambles. So make of that what you will, people. In relation to Kieran Tierney, quickly, in fact, before we get there, I see the chat is popping. You lot are saying a madness. Let me scroll up and show you guys some love.